So if you want to know how to do it, keep on watching.
Some of you obviously want to know what my personal favorite eyeshadows are, and I guess I'll say I'm flattered.
1 million people have subscribed to my channel, and I'm blown away. This was my dream, to be a makeup artist that can inspire people and encourage people and teach them makeup artistry and make them feel beautiful inside and out.
My whole family is pissing me off right now. I just really feel like the world hates me. What else do I have to complain about? I'm launching a huge brand that has cost me so much money. I own Jaclyn Cosmetics. I'm the CEO of my cosmetic brand.
I am revealing my brand new brand, Cozy.
I don't want to be known as the cozy girl. I don't want to be known as the blanket girl. Ugh.
So I understand why the time frame looked messy online, but no, there was no cheating. There was no affair. That is not what ended my ex-husband and I's relationship at all from either sides. It was not about an affair.
In part 1, we learned about Jaclyn's missionary parents and her rise from the farm to fame. How she built a YouTube channel with almost 6 million subscribers and had people standing in line for hours to meet her. She, along with several other famous YouTubers, promoted a company called Morphe Brushes. Morphe Brushes would soon turn into Morphe Cosmetics, helping Jaclyn launch a successful 35-pan eyeshadow palette and turning her into a millionaire. But behind the glamour and flashy lights, things were not as they seemed. According to John Hill, her then husband of 9 years, Jaclyn moved all of his things out of their mansion while he was in rehab. Then she filed for divorce before announcing a few months later that she was dating his friend and former employee, the videographer and aspiring rapper Jordan Tory.
Whoa, look at me now, all in the girl. I ain't driving, just take the keys. Natural curl like Maybelline. I ain't talking about hooping. I'm a pride tell Houston. Young money like Tunchi. I don't even know what they were saying when they said it. I'm indebted to the money, yeah. Shawty, I'm indebted to the money, yeah.
That wasn't satire. In 2018, Jaclyn launched the Vault eyeshadow palettes with Morphe. They had major quality issues and had to be recalled before being re-released with stickers over old batch codes. While a lot happened for Jaclyn from when she started YouTube in 2011 to 2018, it would be nothing compared to the scandals that would take place from 2019 to present day. Scandals involving contaminated makeup, rudeness towards her customers, talking badly about her ex-husband to her followers, and screwing over more women who owned small businesses. But while Jaclyn sat on a throne of lies, there would be a year of reckoning for her when everything she did behind the scenes came to light. And she didn't handle it well. Instead, she became defensive and threw blame on anyone in her orbit. She would lose once close friends, her reputation, and all her businesses. At the time of this recording, she's been losing over 10,000 YouTube subscribers a month, and the only thing she promotes these days are Walmart and Amazon affiliate links. What was once a promising and bright future was destroyed within a few short years. This is part 2 of the cautionary tale of Jaclyn Hill. We ended part 2 at the end of 2018. Jaclyn's first post of 2019 showed her decked out in Gucci and excited for the new year. She also began posting often about her new man, Jordan Tory. She even posted a video titled "Get Ready With Me" for date night, in which she took viewers through her closet to pick out an outfit and jewelry, showed Jordan on video for the first time, and then gave a makeup tutorial. She captioned the video in the description box with, quote, "I'm dating again, you guys. I've actually never dated in my life. My boyfriend loves to go out and do things with me, and it's so new for me." End quote. In 2017, she shared a video of her and John's new mansion. Now, in 2019, she shared a video of her decorated master suite complete with chandeliers, Chanel, black and silver drapes, a neon light that reads "Love Me," a makeup and vanity area, and a bar.
I just have to call out this moment because I preach self-love, and it's very important to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else, right? So that's why I have me.
it look about the same?
You are nailing it.
I'll wake up in the morning just so miserable and just like, ugh, and I'll look over and I'll be like, who is she? This is not real life. Like, I want to take off my bra. And then over here, this is my beauty space that I love so much. When I first moved into this house, I had no idea what I was gonna do with this space. I was very confused. I was like, okay, we've got the bedroom here, this little nook. How do I make it like purposeful? Like I need to give it a reason and a meaning. And at first I just had like this huge chaise lounge that was the size of like a double bed sitting there and like nothing else. And it was just like no one ever walked in here. It didn't feel inviting. It just kind of felt like a waste of space. It was like, oh, hey, great bedroom, but like, what is this, right? It took me over a year of living here to finally realize what I wanted to do, which was have my own cozy, comforting, realistic, everyday beauty space. So over here is the bar. Oh my God, you guys, this backsplash. This is my favorite backsplash. My favorite like anything ever. And I hate that like I can't see it all the time because like in this little nook, and honestly, you know how many times I've used this bar? Not once. I have never once used this bar. I just went ahead and stocked this, honestly, you guys, for the video because I just thought that it looked cute. And the only time that I ever come over here actually is to get something to drink in the middle of the night. Like I wake up every single night of my life thirsty, and I always have a bottle of water next to my bed, but it's never enough. So I'll run over here in the middle of the night, like stubbing my toe, just miserable, and grab something to drink over here, which it's always the water that I have right there. But that's it.
Despite Jaclyn's long history of controversy and putting her name to poor quality products, there was nothing which could have prepared the beauty world for what was about to come. Lipstick Gate. 2019 was the golden era for beauty launches, and Jaclyn chose to bring her own cosmetics brand to the market in May of that year. It would be called Jaclyn Cosmetics and was a long time coming. She had been teasing her own makeup line since as far back as subscribers could remember, and now finally it was ready to launch. Just like with all of her other collabs and releases, Jaclyn made a long video introducing her signature product, lipsticks. She opened the video by saying she had been preparing for the launch since 2015 and that it had always been her dream to have a brand of her own. She told viewers that the delays were because she wanted to make the perfect product. Anything less than flawless wouldn't be good enough to put her name to. Jaclyn reminded everyone that she could be trusted and so could her brand. No one could have foreseen how far from reality that statement would end up being. Well, maybe one person could have, but more on that later. For years, Jaclyn's signature makeup looks more times than not included a nude lip color, so she excitedly started her own brand with 20 shades of nude. Jaclyn went through each color in painstaking detail as she swatched and giggled about her journey to get to that moment.
I cannot believe that I'm filming this video right now. Oh, I cannot believe that I'm about to show this on camera. What the heck? It's so heavy, like so heavy duty, and it shakes. Okay, I'm gonna open it. It's so crazy. Every single time I open it, it's just like, I can't take it. Are you joking? It's just, it's too good. There's an LED light in there. There's like loose diamonds and glitter backdrop paper just to make it so fun and just like a fantasy. I live for it. So this is my nude lipstick collection. We are launching with 20 shades of all nude. Yay! I challenged myself into creating the best lipstick that I have ever used. And it took so long. It took many different labs, many different samples. I am so proud of this lipstick, you guys. It is cruelty-free. It is made in the USA. The ingredients are beautiful. There's avocado oil in there. There's collagen in there. All I know is the ingredients are incredible, and it makes my lipstick so rich and so creamy and so buttery, and that's why we call it the So Rich Lipstick Collection, because it is amazing. It is so moisturizing. When you take it off, your lips feel better than when you put it on. It's just the perfect amount of cream. I did not create this. My mom did. I gave her full range and I said, listen, it's a nude lipstick line, but mom, you create whatever you want. I don't care if it's a bright orange, if it's a bright red. I don't care what it is. You deserve to have something of your own in this line that people know, like, they are buying into a family business when they purchase from Jaclyn Cosmetics. It is named Mom. That's it, you guys. Welcome to the world of Jaclyn Cosmetics. Jaclyn Cosmetics, Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. You can use my first name, my full name, do whatever pleases you. I don't care. JH Cosmetics, whatever you say. welcome. Hang on tight, you guys, because there is a lot coming.
Jaclyn also offered her viewers a little insight into the process of creating a makeup product. She had to find the perfect manufacturer who could guarantee the quality she demanded. Then there was the painstaking reiterations at every step of the process to make sure that what buyers got in their hands was exactly what she had intended, the perfect nude lipstick. She even uploaded a video showing a behind the scenes with her at the lab.
It goes on, it glides on, honestly, like a glass slipper. It is so beautiful, and it can be paired with anything. You can put gloss over top of it, you can put a lip liner underneath it, it doesn't ball up.
That video has since been deleted. Finally, the lipsticks went live in May of 2019. There were a few issues with the launch itself, including customers losing their place in line or being charged the wrong amount of tax. If color range and website issues were the biggest problems Jaclyn's own brand had to face, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But all of that would quickly fade into oblivion when customers began to receive their lipsticks. On June 12th, Jaclyn released a follow-up video about her lipsticks. It might have felt like deja vu for her subscribers because just like so many times before, it was an explanation video. See, from the very first customer who had purchased Jaclyn's lipsticks, there had been a problem. A big, hairy, moldy problem. Customer reviews came flooding in about issues with not only the quality of the product, but also potential contamination. It might just be the first time anyone had ever complained of a hairy lipstick. But sure enough, videos were being uploaded in the hundreds, and they showed glossy pink shades with curly hairs embedded into the product. Others found mold growing on the surface, while some found holes in the lipsticks or received them completely melted. Customers were also complaining that it appeared as though the lipsticks had already been used or at least swatched due to the impressions left on the usually glossy surface of their products. More customers complained of finding tiny plastic balls and shards in their lipsticks, and some even posted pictures of allergic reactions they had had. While the lipsticks just wanted to be free and let their hair down, people weren't having it. It wasn't just paying customers who were receiving contaminated lipsticks. Influencers who had received PR packages from Jaclyn Cosmetics were also posting videos and tweets to their millions of followers. One beauty YouTuber by the name Raw Beauty Christie recorded a video where she examined the lipsticks up close with a microscope. What was particularly notable about her review is that the lipsticks she received in PR had significantly fewer issues than those she purchased herself, which made viewers ask the obvious question: had Jaclyn knowingly sent out fresh stock to influencers to make them review her brand positively, all the while knowing that her publicly available stock was old and expired? The idea that her lipsticks had been lying around in a warehouse for years was further backed up when fans went through her old posts where she occasionally mentioned her upcoming cosmetics line. In one 2016 video, she used a pinky nude lipstick on her lips and teased, quote, "coming in 2017.
Coming in 2017.
2 years after that video, in a collab with James Charles, Jaclyn asked him when his makeup line was coming out, only to have him flip it on her.
James, are you ever going to release your own brand? Really? Talk to me about that, because I'm actually genuinely interested in that as well.
Well, I'd actually love to hear where Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics is after the past 5 years of you talking about it. Ma'am.
Jaclyn claimed in that video, quote, "I'm finally getting to the point where I just need to launch the products that I have because I literally have products that have been created and they're ready to be filled and they're ready to go," end quote.
I'm just gonna say, like, to be completely honest, when it comes to Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, the reason that it has not launched, and this is hard for me to say, is genuinely because of my perfectionism. I am such a psychopath. It's a whole nother level when it comes to my actual brand. That is my brand, like from beginning to end, because the tiniest thing is gonna fall on my back. Like when you do a collab, there's certain things, a lot of stuff falls on the actual brand's back. When it's your own brand, it is 100% your baby, and if the one tiny thing goes wrong, like it's all on you. It's so much responsibility, and I know that people are like dying for it, and it's every single day, it's all over my social media, and I'm just like, oh, like I'm such a perfectionist that it really scares me. I'm finally getting to the point where I'm like, I just need to launch the products that I have, because I literally have products that have been created and they're ready to be filled and they're ready to go. I'm just like, because I overthink everything. But the first launch is gonna be absolutely incredible and I cannot wait.
In April 2017, she replied to a fan's tweet by saying that her own makeup line had gone into production the previous month. Later that year, she tweeted that her lipsticks were, quote, at the lab and ready to go. Some even went so far as to speculate that maybe Jaclyn held off on releasing the lipsticks until after her divorce was finalized, so John wouldn't benefit from the launch. All that to say, people were concerned that the products they were putting on their mouths had been sitting in a warehouse for years, when most lip products have a shelf life of 12 months or less. To further add to their concern, consumers noticed that all of the lipsticks and all of the shades had exactly the same batch codes, which meant that there was no way to pin down if just one color or production run of lipsticks was affected by the quality issues. The implications of a product which is intended to be used on the lips being contaminated cannot be understated. The mouth is a gateway to the body, and exposing the lips to contaminants could result in serious health consequences, especially for immunocompromised individuals. The fact that there was anything in these lipsticks that wasn't supposed to be there meant contamination. Ultimately, the public was looking for an explanation and an acknowledgement from Jaclyn about exactly what had gone wrong with her lipsticks. Since the day of the launch, consumers had been tagging her on Twitter asking why their lipsticks were fuzzy or gritty. In each response, 29-year-old Jaclyn went on the attack. To one customer, she replied, quote, "It's obvious that lipstick is used and not fresh from the factory." In another tweet, she explained that the hairs visible in many of the lipsticks had come from lab workers wearing white cotton gloves. The explanation about cotton gloves being used in production didn't land for many reasons. But most notably, many of the pictures taken of the lipsticks showed dark hair, and many of the hairs were deeply embedded into the product, not just sitting on the outside. And then there was video evidence. When one puts their whole life on YouTube, it's natural that their fans will call on their previous footage as proof of whatever they say. Jaclyn had shared footage of the process of visiting the lab she had selected to produce the lipsticks. In the video, she can be seen wearing standard disposable gloves, not white cotton gloves like she claimed. But even if the explanation about white gloves was accurate, it called into question the quality of the manufacturer Jaclyn had chosen. Remember, Jaclyn herself had already described how meticulous she was in choosing a lab that met her standards. So naturally, customers believed that if the lab was dodgy, then Jaclyn surely must have known about it and they demanded an explanation. The day before Jaclyn's explainer video went live, she posted a tweet saying, quote, "I plan on breaking my silence and addressing the issues regarding my lipsticks very soon. I have been working hard to gather all of the facts and details so I can give you accurate answers. I appreciate you allowing me time to wrap my head around all of this and investigate." End quote. At the same time as Jaclyn's video went live, a statement was posted on the Jaclyn Cosmetics website. In short, the message was that the lipsticks were safe to use, only a small number of products were affected, and that the lab was FDA registered and compliant. The statement also claimed that the products were manufactured in the same month they were launched, and it repeated the claims about white gloves being used in the process. Then came her video. Jaclyn at first sounded almost annoyed with her audience. Then she tearfully addressed the controversy surrounding her contaminated lipsticks. She put the failures down to the size of her quality control team, saying, quote, "I did not have a quality control team big enough to handle what I was doing at all, and I totally messed up." End quote. And then she downplayed her role in checking the quality of the first products to ever carry her name, saying, quote, "I was way too overconfident in my launch, and I was not enough involved in quality control. I overhyped it for you guys. I trusted the wrong people. I did a lot of things that I should not have done." End quote.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I don't even need to give you an intro. You know why we are here. I want to address some of the issues that my customers are having with my first launch of my brand, Jaclyn Cosmetics, and my lipsticks. I know it's taken me a couple days to get all my ducks in a row and get this video out for you guys, but I've been going through all the documentation and on the phone with labs and chemists and the owner of my lab and my entire team for several days and doing a very in-depth investigation to figure out exactly what's going on so that I can give you the most informed information as a brand owner. The first thing that I want to address before anything else is the accusations that my lipsticks are expired, moldy, or hazardous in any way, shape, or form. I'm gonna put up documents throughout this entire video so you guys can see the actual proof, because I'm not gonna sit here and like read papers to you guys. I'm gonna put it right there on the screen so you can see proof. So number one, let's start with the expired accusation. My lipsticks did not go into mass production until the same month that I actually launched my brand. Although I had been so in depth with my formulation, my colors, and approving all of that, mass production did not go into production until right before my launch, because we wanted them to be fresh. We didn't want them to sit on shelves. And because my brand has been pushed back so many times, I actually already went through the same situation with a different lab several years ago. I went into mass production, ended up having an issue while in mass production, and then didn't launch my brand and had to go to a whole new lab because I didn't want those issues to happen again. So I canceled them and went somewhere else. I tried to cover my tracks. I f***ed up, but they are not expired. Second of all, my lipsticks are not moldy. They are not hazardous. They are not contaminated. They're not unsafe for you in any way, shape, or form. Every single ingredient in my lipstick is new and it is FDA approved. And again, I will give you proof right here. If you guys want to look over these documents in depth and tear them apart, you go right ahead and see that they are not contaminated. Every single ingredient is FDA approved and they are not expired. I want to ease your minds with that before even getting into all the nitty gritty stuff of this video, so that you're not sitting here thinking like, oh my gosh, is it true that if I use this lipstick that it's gonna hurt me in some way? No, that is not the case. And now you guys have seen that, so let's move forward.
Just like the previous failed launches, Jaclyn was forced to refund every single purchase of her lipsticks. In the wake of the online firestorm, Jaclyn announced she was going off social media indefinitely and proceeded to deactivate all of her social media accounts. Indefinitely lasted 1 month, but during the time she was offline, the public was trying to get to the truth of what really happened with the hairy lipsticks, as most didn't believe Jaclyn's white fuzzy gloves explanation. Internet sleuths combed through the documents she had released, as well as the still images from Jaclyn's promotional video that showed her handling her lipsticks inside a lab with blue gloves on. This led to them finding out Oxygen Development was the lab used. Oxygen Development is a cosmetic product manufacturer in Palm Springs, Florida. In 2013, during an inspection by the FDA's Department of Health and Human Services, it was observed and documented that Oxygen Development LLC failed their quality control policies and procedures. As if that wasn't problematic enough, an employee from Oxygen Labs tweeted that a dog had been able to wander inside their facility, and another showed a cat allegedly inside the facility as well. Cassandra Bankson, a medical esthetician and YouTuber, put the hair she pulled out of Jaclyn's lipsticks under a microscope and believed it to allegedly be mouse or rat hair. Another YouTuber by the name Kenna Whitnell is a cosmetic chemist who spent $400 of her money to have her 4 Jaclyn Cosmetics lipsticks tested at a lab.
Now, what I will mention about all of these samples that I ran is they're really small sample sizes. Just testing, maybe 4 to 5 lipsticks is generally not enough to make a very conclusive decision, but this was kind of all I had to work with in the beginning as far as samples to send in. And I think this is a good representation of both, open products, unopened products, and then a couple of controls to have a solid comparison of what's going on here. And for the last Jaclyn Hill sample, again, total plate count, yeast and mold, less than 10 colony-forming units per gram. E. coli, staph, salmonella, and pseudomonas are all negative. So what does this mean? Well, it means that all of these samples are negative for microbial contamination as far as all of the tests that I did. But is the product contaminated? Well, I think that we all visually saw from all the, the microscope videos, all of the close-up videos. Yes, this product is contaminated. If you can see something in a product, it is definitely contaminated. But my biggest concern was for human health and safety and the things that you maybe can't see. So from my reports, there is no microbial contamination in these products. But that doesn't mean that they're not contaminated with something else, because we all saw that they are. But from my accounts, there is actually no microbial contamination in both of the samples that I sent in for testing with the Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics lipsticks.
A few weeks after that video, Jaclyn returned to social media. On July 23rd of 2019, she posted a video titled Where I've Been. In the first 3 minutes of the video, Jaclyn talks about her relationship with her subscribers, how much she loves them, and even mentions her anxiety, depression, and divorce. Later in the video, she states she just needs to get back to doing what she loves, which is doing makeup tutorial videos. She apologizes, says she's learned a lot, and then goes on to state she fired so many people during the time she was off social media. She then says the reason she deactivated her social media accounts wasn't because she was running away from accountability, but because she needed to rebuild as a boss, an owner, and a CEO. During the rest of the video, she continues to talk about how she knows it's her destiny to have a cosmetics brand, she's not giving up, and talks about new products she has coming in the future and how they're with a completely different lab. She states what a disappointment this is because she had so many things in the pipeline and was supposed to have a launch every 6 to 8 weeks for the rest of the year, but now won't be able to. For her longtime fans and customers hoping for a more thorough explanation and some accountability for the lipstick debacle, the video was a letdown. Instead of a detailed explanation, Jaclyn touched once again on her personal struggles and promised to do better with her next launch. Never once in her video did she say the lipsticks were contaminated, maybe because she didn't believe they were. Only 4 years later, in 2023, on one of her social media accounts, Jaclyn uploaded a video making fun of the fact that people called it contaminated, when she shows herself using one of her 2019 lipsticks with the text on screen saying, quote, "Point of view, you're still using Jaclyn Hill's, quote, contaminated lipsticks 4 years later," end quote. Jaclyn did give an apology in her video to the first girl on Twitter that she snapped at about the lipsticks, and said she also reached out to her privately and that she was very sweet to accept her apology. Jaclyn ended her apology video by saying, quote, "I have made you guys lose trust in me and it sucks so bad, and the fact that this was my brand and I was so confident and this happened, like I can't even tell you how embarrassed I am. At the end of the day, I have to rise up," end quote. Jaclyn had told her followers multiple times that they were supporting a family-owned brand and how she was CEO and owner of Jaclyn Cosmetics. But you see, before Jaclyn disappeared from social media, she had released the Certificate of Good Manufacturing documents to the public. This was supposed to prove that the lab had been quality controlled and tested prior to her lipstick launch. But internet sleuths noticed something in these documents that wasn't redacted well enough. It was clear to see in this document, on page 5 under the Microbiological Certificate of Analysis, that Jaclyn's So Rich lipsticks had been submitted for testing by Morphe, not Jaclyn Cosmetics. In fact, years after her first failed lipstick launch, in what some called karma, or the consequences of her own actions, court documents would confirm that the internet sleuths were correct. Jaclyn Hill was not the owner of any cosmetic company. She had licensed her name to Morphe. Jaclyn had been linked with Morphe since she first mentioned them in 2015, back when they were a cosmetics brushes brand. She and the co-owner, Linda Tawil, had grown extremely close. Linda plays the fairy godmother in this Morphe promo video Jaclyn and Jeffree Star did in 2016. Please keep in mind the music has been changed for copyright reasons. Now Morphe, or more accurately, Morphe's parent company, Forma, was the owner of Jaclyn Cosmetics, but more on what would play out in court later. Which brings us back around to the person who might have been able to foresee the problems with the lipstick launch. In part 1 of this documentary, we discussed how Marlena Stell, the former owner of Makeup Geek, had once found white fuzzy hairs, fingerprints, and shards of plastic in a full production of concealers during quality control. Because of this, she canceled the entire launch of concealers. Marlena, who had been friends with Jaclyn at the time, warned her about labs she should steer clear of due to substandard production methods and poor quality control which had burned Makeup Geek in the past, but Jaclyn didn't listen. Marlena has never been afraid of speaking her mind and sharing the hidden secrets of the beauty industry. Back in 2018, she posted a video revealing that beauty influencers were demanding $60,000 in exchange for a positive product review. Marlena believed the reason for the rushed production of Jaclyn's So Rich lipsticks was because in 2019, Morphe was allegedly in dire straits financially. She believed they were desperate for a huge launch to give them a cash injection, so they allegedly skipped the usual quality control steps and went with a substandard manufacturer. Jaclyn couldn't blame Morphe for the failure during her apology video because that would mean revealing she wasn't the owner and had only licensed her name to Morphe. But that wasn't all Marlena had to say. In a podcast episode years after the lipstick launch, she revealed that when there were issues with the vault that Morphe and Jaclyn launched in 2018, Morphe claimed they replaced all of the affected palettes in only 6 weeks. But Marlena knew that was simply impossible. They would have needed to procure raw materials, manufacture the product and the packaging, ship the product from China to the US, clear customs, and then stock in retail stores in 6 weeks' time. In Marlena's experience with her company Makeup Geek, it takes 6 weeks alone just to procure the raw materials, which also called into question Jaclyn's assertion that all of her lipsticks were manufactured in the same month they were sold and dispatched. In August of 2019, only a few months after the failed lipstick launch, Jaclyn posted a picture of her and her sister and wrote a caption about some days she struggles to get out of bed. But even with anxiety, she made it to a Cubs game and told herself that everything would be okay. She reminded her followers to breathe and that everything will work out. 1 month later, she posted a video titled Why I Had to Move, in which she talks about her bedroom ceiling collapsing in her home, so she moved from Florida to LA until it was fixed. And although her longtime fans were happy she was okay, they noticed Jaclyn was acting erratic in the video. She claimed her family was pissing her off and complained about emergency service sirens while sitting in designer clothes and mentioned showering in front of her assistant. While many longtime fans were thankful she was talking about dealing with depression and anxiety, especially because depression and anxiety don't discriminate no matter one's financial status or race, other fans could no longer relate to a woman who had everything yet still complained so openly. Jaclyn had the ability to move herself, her dogs, her boyfriend, mother and stepfather, and several employees across the country while her home was being repaired. It was as if the girl who used to film makeup videos in front of her fridge in her apartment was becoming very out of touch. 2019 was also the year John released a video on social media about something that happened the year before. Before their divorce, John had relapsed. In an interview with Billboard, he said he was excited to come home and spend Christmas with Jaclyn, only to find out that she had moved all of his things out of their mansion and wanted a divorce. He stated it was hard not knowing who she was with. Only 2 months later, John had relapsed, and it was his father who came to his rescue. His father, who lived in another state, had called John in the middle of the night after hearing that whoever John had been hanging around with had stolen thousands of dollars from him when he overdosed. While on the phone with his dad, John was in withdrawal, but he stated he was coherent enough to tell his father everything. Worried about him, his father decided he had to get John to rehab, so he convinced John to go on vacation with him. John agreed, but by the next day he said he was done being vulnerable and told his dad he was fine. But it didn't matter. John's father was on a plane to get him. John told this story in an Instagram post. This is the exact moment his dad picked him up and got him out of his apartment to take him to rehab. John can be heard crying while his dad hugs him and gives him some encouraging words. John wrote, quote, "This was the moment my dad dropped everything he was doing and flew to Florida to pick me up after hearing about my overdoses to get me to another rehab. He told me we were going on vacation. I remember none of this moment except the extreme desire to not want to go on anymore. I'm so grateful I wasn't in control once he came into the picture, because once I got to the other side and was thinking clearly again, that thought was so hard to grasp it was even a thought at one point. Without him, I know I wouldn't be here and wouldn't have made it a few more days. I was unable to pee and had a mini stroke. It's such a miracle to have this guy by my side today. My song to him will always be Hero from Foo Fighters. I love you, Dad. My next music video is the story of everything that led up to this moment, starting from me leaving rehab and everything that led me going back. It's intense and very dark, but I hope it can help another addict to relate and feel hope or show people the reality of the extreme lows this path leads you. This clip was hard to share, but it's not about me looking cool anymore and hasn't been for a while. I made a decision while in rehab, right after my dad got me to use my voice for purpose and try to help as many people as I can, however that might be. I'm not perfect, and recovery is a process with trial and error involved. It takes time. Don't be too hard on yourself if you get weak. Keep fighting every day and reach out to people who won't judge your situation and who have experience in making it out." End quote. While sober, John continued making music and promoting his album titled The John Hill Project. He also spoke out a lot more about addiction and offered support to those struggling like he once had. Jaclyn would once again upset some of her longtime followers who didn't think she was taking the contaminated lipstick launch seriously enough when in October of that year, she posted a picture of her Halloween costume, and the costume had "Jaclyn Hill is canceled" written on it. She wrote in the caption, quote, "Over the last several years, the internet has become more and more cruel and has developed what we now call cancel culture. Not one day has gone by in over 2 years where I have not seen 'you're canceled' online. I wanted to create a look showing the glam side of the industry and the ugly. So here it is. You want me canceled? You got it, baby. And I know my haters are going to hate this costume, but that's okay. I love you anyway." End quote. She then posted a video that took viewers through the Halloween party she threw in LA, which featured flying in her party planner from Florida, hiring florists who created immaculate archways and displays with thousands of roses, also flying her friends in from Florida, and setting up a bar, lighting, candelabras, spiderwebs, and staging furniture. She also hired fire dancers as entertainment. The back of Jaclyn's costume read, "She's canceled." In November of 2019, Jaclyn did her first makeup launch since Lipstick Gate when she released her holiday highlight collection. She hosted an all-white party in LA full of other beauty influencers to kick off the launch. This collection was well received, and customers praised the highlighter's many shades and quality glow. Jaclyn ended 2019 celebrating that all of Jaclyn cosmetics were now in every Morphe store in the US, going on to say, quote, "This is such a huge moment for me, you guys. I discovered Morphe when they had 12 employees and one tiny little store in Burbank. I fell in love with this company and the owners of the brand. I was their first ever affiliate, and we grew together through several collabs and have shared our ups and downs by each other's side. Seeing this company grow into such a powerhouse has been so inspiring and encouraging. Seeing my very own brand in their store is nothing short of completely surreal. Thank you to my beautiful Morphe Brushes family for believing in me from the beginning. The future is bright, baby." End quote. In February of 2020, Jaclyn collabed with Morphe again to release the Jaclyn Hill Palette Volume 2, another eyeshadow palette. She released a video on her YouTube channel where she swatched the palette, but didn't do a tutorial with any looks from it. By now, fans were voicing their concerns that it seemed like Jaclyn only uploaded a YouTube video when she wanted to sell something. While Jaclyn was still selling the lie that Jaclyn Cosmetics was her own brand when it really belonged to Forma, Morphe's parent company, she clarified in her video about why she was working with Morphe for the palette launch. And knowing what we know now, the lie doesn't even make sense, but it was well rehearsed.
So it is a new one, and I am so excited for these to be swatched on my arm so you can see all of them. One thing that I want to address before jumping into swatches is I see so many comments and questions on social media asking why I would be collaborating with Morphe again, since I now am a brand owner and have Jaclyn Cosmetics as my own. And the reason why that is because Morphe has helped me grow into who I am as a businesswoman. They have helped me from the very beginning and just taking me under their wing and taught me so much about product, and I appreciate them and value the relationship with them so much, and I'm able to create things with Morphe that I cannot create on my own. I would not be able or have the resources or the knowledge as of right now to create a 35 color palette with all different formulas that are beautiful and creamy and pigmented for only $39. I just couldn't do that at this time in my career. So being able to work with them is such an honor and a pleasure, and I I love Morphe and I love working with them and I love being able to give you guys such great products for an inexpensive price. That is why I'm collaborating with them again. As you guys have seen, there's been several other people who are also business owners and CEOs who collaborate with Morphe as well, and I'm just another one of them.
Jaclyn didn't upload a tutorial using her new eyeshadow palette until 3 months later in a video titled How To, Easy Cat Eye Makeup, and she wouldn't use the palette in a video again until 6 months after that. That being said, she was still pulling in over 1 million views per video. During quarantine, Jaclyn released a video with her boyfriend Jordan. She also made several posts about how she had been going through a lot, how poor her mental health had been, and that she was learning to work on herself. That same month, she posted a YouTube video about her pantry, showing all the snacks and food she kept stocked. She told her followers not to be afraid to put themselves first. Her next post, 2 months into the COVID-19 pandemic, was of her posing in her Lamborghini. Some followers in the comments declared it wasn't an appropriate post given that people were dying of COVID-19, millions had lost their jobs, and those who were considered essential workers were struggling to make ends meet. That was soon forgotten, however, when sadly, Jaclyn's father passed away 1 month later. In September of 2020, Jaclyn posted a video titled Assumptions About Me, in which she responds to her followers' assumptions, and just like with the Lamborghini post, she appears even more out of touch when during the pandemic she tells her audience there is no cap on what they can earn, because if she did it, they can do it too.
You are a spoiled brat. Oh, I'm a spoiled brat. You guys, I'm a spoiled brat. I earned everything that I own by myself. No man ever backed me up. I never had an investor in anything. I did all the shit on my own. And somehow, one of the number one assumptions is that I'm a spoiled brat. I think that people thinking like owning nice things means you're spoiled. So I like let that one slide on social media all the time. But for me, when I think of a spoiled person or a brat, like a spoiled brat, I think of like, give this to me. Like I think of entitlement and just like bitchiness and just like, I deserve that. You know what I'm saying? But like to me, it's like, no, I worked for this. I have been a hard worker ever since I was a little girl. My dad, thank you, Lord, for him. God rest his soul. He taught me how to be a hard worker right alongside of my mom. I mean, he pushed me. I've had a job since I was 14 years old, and ever since I've never not had a job. You know, I've worked very hard. I know what I want out of life, and I provide things for myself. And all this that you see, I worked for it. And that's always what I preach to people. I'm like, I did this, you can too. If I can earn this, you can too. There is no cap and there's no end on the amount of money that's available for you guys to earn. If I can do this, you can do this. And I had a great time doing it. I did what I loved. I found my passion, and it just worked for a young, poor girl. It worked. Not poor growing up. Everyone always gets me twisted, but poor at the time when I started my career. I'm doing great now.
Jaclyn then claimed that she doesn't come to YouTube only to sell things, and to prove that point, mentions that she hasn't had a launch in almost a year. But this video was uploaded only 7 months after the launch of her Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Volume 2 palette.
You only upload on YouTube when you're trying to sell something. Another very popular assumption that is, which is kind of concerning to me because honestly, if you just look at facts, what have I sold this year? Like, I haven't had a launch since almost an entire full year ago. What am I selling? Like, really, I see this all the time. People on Twitter, oh, the only reason she's gonna upload is because she's selling something. I don't know if people are referring to like maybe links that I put in my description bar that I've been doing for 7 years since I started my YouTube channel of just reward style links or Amazon links. I don't know if that's what people are referring to. If so, I'm like, that's not my income, you know? I'm not trying to sell you something. No, the answer is absolutely no. Like, for instance, this video right now, I'm literally just here talking just to talk, just to shoot with you guys because I enjoy it, and that's it.
During this time, John Hill had been minding his own business and only uploading things about his life, music, and Frankie to his social media. He mentioned Jaclyn in April of that year after he posted a picture of her on his Instagram and captioned it with, quote, "After all that we've been through, I know we're cool," end quote. But things weren't cool when in November of 2020, while COVID-19 ravaged the US, Jaclyn uploaded a photo to her stories of a shirt that read, "2020 is still better than my first marriage." John had it, and he posted the screenshot to his Instagram and captioned it with, quote, "Dude, if you're gonna freak at me every time I mention your existence, then don't do petty BS like this. One-sided much?" End quote. In the comments, John responded to his followers and had a lot to say, including that it had kept him up at night when he had heard Jaclyn tell their nieces to call Jordan Uncle Farnham. Farnham is one of Jordan's nicknames, and he didn't understand why she told them that. John went on to say, quote, "I get shit on her videos and called a liar on her Twitter, and have I said one word about her? No. I took the blame for the marriage, took the blame for the addiction, and she's still throwing shade. Grow up." End quote. Another comment read, quote, "I'm honestly not even mad at the shirt. I think it's kind of funny, but I just hate that if I even mention her name at all, she DMs me within 5 seconds and then does this. It's just so one-sided. That's what annoys me." End quote. And this wouldn't be the only time Jaclyn publicly threw shade at John. When Jordan moved in, she made a post and captioned it with, quote, "We are officially moving in together. Jordan has officially canceled his lease at his apartment and is moving in. This is such a huge deal to me because I've never lived with a boyfriend and I've also never shared bills and household responsibilities with anyone before. I know that seems crazy." End quote. John Hill worked when the two of them got together and even during their marriage, as Jaclyn didn't become YouTube famous until years into their marriage. It didn't take long for Jaclyn to change the caption to just, "We are officially moving in together. We are so excited to call it our home." But the internet is forever. Before we look back at a specific timeline, let's watch Jaclyn answer whether or not she cheated on John. In this video, she says things that don't line up with the timeline, like that she didn't announce her divorce until the end of June in 2018, but it was May when Jaclyn and John announced it. She also claims that John had moved out before 2018 started, but we have a video from John's Instagram from mid-January of 2018 of Jaclyn, John, and Jordan hanging out on Jaclyn and John's couch, in which John shows Jaclyn some of the work Jordan's done for him, and Jaclyn calls John babe. She also claims she and John told her parents they were divorcing between Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2017. But Jaclyn uploaded a Q&A video with her husband in mid-November 2017. John posted a screenshot of the video to his Instagram on November 16th, excited that their video had hit 1 million views in a single day. November was also when Jaclyn and John posted photos from their couple's photo shoot, including the one of them flipping off the camera and saying that it was for everyone who said their relationship wouldn't last. Jaclyn and John also held a Christmas party in December of 2017 called Deck the Hills. Jordan and his then-girlfriend attended, and John even let Jordan wear one of his nice suits for the party. As you can see in these photos, John is wearing the suit another time, and Jordan is wearing it at the Hills Christmas party. Here's Jaclyn's take from 2020 on whether or not she cheated on John.
This was a very popular one. Oh, the elephant in the room. I cheated on my ex-husband with his best friend, Jordan. This is definitely a very sensitive question on one hand, but not at all on the other. When Jordan and I first got together, I saw these speculations, drama channels, gossip channels, whatever you want to call them, and just people all over social media saying that I was a cheater and I was a liar and I had an affair and whatever it may be, and I was so upset. How dare they do this to me? Like, they're questioning my character. Like, at first, I was so panicked at the idea of social media thinking this. I went through my phone and my DMs and I screenshotted everything. I put it into a folder with proof of dates and times of when Jordan and I started talking so that I could like show the world everything and debunk all the allegations. And then I was just like, why? Like, I know that I didn't cheat. So no, I understand why though. I do. That's the thing, is I understand why people assume that I cheated because Jordan and I got together so quickly. It was like, bye, on to the next. Like, absolutely. But also, a lot of people say, well, look at it. Look at the timeline. It's so obvious. Here's the thing is, no one knows the actual timeline. When I got on camera and announced that I was getting a divorce, My ex-husband and I had been separated completely, and he had been moved out of the house for over 6 months at that point. Like, completely, to the point that on New Year's Eve, he was living in the Marriott Suites Hotel on the beach and came and stopped by the house for like 5 minutes to take a picture on Snapchat to make people think that we were celebrating New Year's together, because we didn't want to deal with the outside drama. We told my parents before Christmas, my entire family, we told them in between Thanksgiving and December, we're getting divorced. And I did not tell the world until the end of June the following year. So there was a lot of time that you guys did not know about, and a lot that happened even before that. So I understand why the time frame looked messy online. But no, there was no cheating. There was no affair. That is not what ended my ex-husband and I's relationship at all from either sides. It was not about an affair. And that's another thing that I see that drives me crazy, is not only did people like refer to me as a cheater and how I had an affair, but I did it with John's best friend. And that drove me insane, because the fact that he was referred to as his best friend, which it doesn't matter if they're acquaintances, if they're friends, if they're best friends, if they work together, it doesn't matter, but it just drives me crazy, because the idea, when I think of like best friend, I think of like the person that you grew up with, you share everything with, and I'm like, that's a lot. That's just not the case if I'm gonna really dive into assumptions. Jordan and my ex-husband, they met at the studio because Jordan at the time was working on an album of his own, and he also owns his own business where he does filming and editing. And so myself and my ex-husband hired him to film his videos and edit them. So he had come over to the house a couple of times, in which case there was no flirting, no attraction, no touching, nothing. It wasn't until John and I had gone through a divorce that somehow him and I, through DMs, casually started talking about filming, because I had some questions, and editing, and next thing you know, it just started. It sparked up. There was an interest there. I pursued him 100%. I was like, oh my God, this guy's awesome. Nothing ever happened before a divorce, though. Being called a cheater is not fun when you pride yourself on being loyal. Even if you're miserable, when you pride yourself on being loyal, it's like, don't call me a cheater.
In a 2023 interview with his friends that was filmed in Jaclyn's backyard, Jordan talked about why he quit music and states that he flew out to Vegas to film his Y×3 music video and then started dating Jaclyn. He goes on to say once their relationship was made public, he started receiving a lot of hate on his music videos. This matters because of how things line up in the timeline.
The reason I stopped, so I dropped Bubblegum Trap, I flew out to Vegas, I filmed a video for Y×3, you know what I mean? Like I was super experimental at that time, like I'm still proud of that project, I like it, I cringe at some songs, you know what I mean? But it's like, that's part of it, you know, that's growth, that's how it is. I started dating her, and then when our relationship became public, I started getting like the craziest comments, bro. And like, I had a few thousand followers at that point. You know, I had a couple of battles over 100,000 views. I was getting all these comments like, oh, this shit is garbage, this is trash. Like, he's got a black scent, he wants to be black so bad. Like, look at you, you're all this shit, bro. Like, just like trashing me. And it gave me some kind of insecurity, bro, where I was like, yo, I want to make music. I have this whole audience that I have in front of me now, and like, I want to make music that I can like capitalize off of them with, but like, yeah, that's not what, like, I don't make that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just made what I made because I liked it and because it felt right. Like that's what artistry is, right? It's like, you don't paint something for somebody, you just, you know, like you just paint what you feel. Yeah. And when I was in the booth, I would just rap and sing what I felt, and it's like, what that was got trashed, and I was just getting ripped apart by all these people, and it was just like, oh,
bro, nobody knew your story, bro.
Of course nobody knew my story. It was all these people that got introduced, all these like beauty fans that got introduced to me, and it's just like a completely different audience, right? But in my mind, I'm like, okay, like they don't like that, and I got all these followers now, so like I have to, I gotta like put something that they're gonna like out.
Let's rewind to 2018 and look again. As mentioned earlier, while Jaclyn and John were still married, John had uploaded a video of the three of them hanging out together in January of that year. Jordan was John's friend, and he was also filming some music videos for John, who was a drummer. The following month in February, Jordan released his album titled Bubblegum Trap, with the Y×3 music video also being uploaded to YouTube in the same month. Also in February, Jaclyn posted a snap to her Snapchat of John eating popcorn off her chest. John was normally pretty active on his Instagram, but from February 24th to April 8th, he didn't post at all. Although we don't know the specific date, according to John, he went to rehab before they announced their divorce in May. It's safe to assume John went to rehab sometime between late February and April, as he stated in his 2019 Billboard interview when he returned. All of his things had been moved out of his and Jaclyn's home, and he didn't know who she was with. It's also assumed John was gone in March, because on Saturday, March 31st of 2018, Jaclyn was seen with Jordan at a Demi Lovato concert. A few days later, she didn't post pictures of the concert, but she captioned one of her photos with, quote, "Had so much fun at Demi's concert on Saturday. Such a talented woman," end quote. Jaclyn and John then announced their divorce on Instagram on May 16th, and John told Billboard he was back in rehab within 2 months, specifically on July 1st. This contradicts Jaclyn's timeline that John was moved out before 2018. And then there's John's now deleted comment from his Instagram where he wrote, quote, "No one has any idea exactly what's happening. She went after my best friend while I was getting better." In December of that year, Jaclyn made hers and Jordan's relationship public. Regardless of what happened in the demise of their relationship, Jaclyn never issued an apology to John for throwing shade at him on social media in November of 2020, but instead went on to show what Christmas looked like at her home, where she hosted her family for holiday dinners. She may or may not have regretted not issuing that apology to John only a couple years later. Jaclyn declared that she wasn't giving up on her dreams and wanted her brand to come back better than ever, and 2021 would be the year of makeup launches for Jaclyn Cosmetics. She first launched a highlighter and blush collection, and it was a significant launch because the products weren't just launching online, but also in Ulta Beauty stores. She then made her first big attempt back into the world of lipstick. She went into full girl boss mode and released a video about the collection and how she was rising above her past failures to set an example for people everywhere.
A lot of people say that when one door closes, another one opens. And I disagree, because sometimes you have to break that door down. This is the most anticipated, exciting, and nerve-wracking thing I think I've ever done, because I'm coming out with lip products. This collection is so much more than makeup. I have realized that with everything that I have been given in life, how important it is for me to be a role model to so many different people. To young girls out there who are different, who don't fit in, who are bullied, who have a big dream and feel like no one encourages them, you can be whatever you want to be. Even if a million people tell you no, it doesn't matter. It is up to you. You are the only one in control of your life and your destiny. Even when I look at my nieces, I just have no choice but to stand up, to rise up, and be the best that I can be for them. And that's exactly what this collection represents. So I say, own your mistakes, own who you are, and be outspoken.
And while holding her new liquid lipstick collection, she spoke in her YouTube video about how she had been so blessed with the platform and millions of followers she has, yet that video didn't even break 1 million views. Jaclyn's views were falling. Upon her new lipstick collection's release, Jaclyn uploaded a video showing her entire team and family celebrating at the office for the release. While her mother, brother, and nieces celebrated her with champagne, followers noticed her sister was absent. Rachel, Jaclyn's sister, wasn't the only one noticeably absent from Jaclyn's social media accounts and videos. People were asking where her best friend Jackie was. So much so that Jaclyn addressed it in a 2019 Q&A video, claiming that she hung out with Jackie a lot because she had been in an unhappy relationship with John, but now she was happy with Jordan.
Where has Jackie been? Who knows? Jackie's busy and so am I. Everyone thinks that we're not friends anymore, and we definitely are, but ever since I got into a new relationship, I just don't spend time with my friends. I'm just that bitch. I'm busy! I'm Jackie is actually really, really busy. She's doing a lot right now. I'm very proud of her, and as am I. You'll see a lot of stuff that I've been working on coming to life very soon, and me and Jackie are still the bestest of friends and still adore each other. We still hang out. It's just not like it was. Like, when I was in my last relationship and I was married, me and Jackie hung out all the time because, like, we didn't really spend much time together, my husband and I. So I was always like looking for a distraction and going and having fun with her and just like living my life. And now that's not the case. So I'm busier and so is she, and we're both in happy relationships, and that's the tea.
Followers noticed that although Jaclyn claimed they were still good friends, Jackie was no longer making public appearances on Jaclyn's social media. In fact, the last time Jaclyn posted anything with Jackie was in March of 2018. In 2023, for the first time, Jackie addressed her and Jaclyn's former relationship when on a post about her birthday, a follower asked if she was still best friends with Jaclyn because she loved seeing them together. Jackie replied, quote, "We are not currently in each other's lives. Let me say this once and never again. I wish her immense joy, but I am Jackie Riley. It's my birthday, my artistry, my vision, my page, and I am done being asked this question. If God chooses to unite us, then beautiful, but I am an individual." End quote. One of the recurring themes across Jaclyn's social media accounts have been her comments about her dependence on alcohol to manage her emotions. Jack has often mentioned that she would rather use liquor than prescription drugs. One of the first times she mentioned a problem with alcohol was post-Lipstickgate, when she said instead of confronting the problems head-on, she drank to avoid it. She stated she took several tequila shots before recording her lipstick apology video. Her fans didn't have a problem with her admitting she had a problem with alcohol, but they were confused why she continued to post about it on her social media after saying she needed to stop drinking. Followers didn't know what to think.
But one major change that I have made, and I'm gonna get super vulnerable with you guys because this is something that I really didn't talk about and touch much on all my other videos, and there's a reason for it, so let me jump to that quickly. I talked about having a dependency on alcohol maybe like a year and a half ago. I discussed it and how after I went through all my lipstick situation, you know, and had to like refund everybody and all that, you know, the hairy lipsticks, whatever. I became very dependent on alcohol, and I was very open and honest about that. And because of my openness and my honesty, I got so much feedback, and a lot of it was very damaging and just people being very ignorant to alcohol abuse, and you know, people telling me that, oh, if she was really an alcoholic she would have gone to rehab. Well, I never said I was an alcoholic. That's the thing. I never said I was an addict. So I kind of just shut it up. I shut the hell up, and I didn't talk about it again because I didn't want to deal with that, you know, and it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, so I don't deal with it. But I'm ready to talk about it again and bring it back to the surface because here's the deal. Am I an addict? No. Am I an alcoholic? I could be. I definitely am not at the point where like I'm needing rehab. You know what I'm saying? But I use alcohol to cope with anxiety. My doctor tells me that, you know, I use it as self-medication the same way I would use Xanax, but I don't use pills. I use alcohol instead. And as my anxiety has been getting so much better, I have been able to cut back on alcohol, which has been amazing because at a certain point when I was dealing with the lipsticks, I was drinking basically all day, every day. And now it's like I use it here and there when I'm super anxious. It's like, okay, gotta have a drink, you know, gotta get some alcohol in my system to like just take the edge off sort of thing, you know? And I've just realized I'm done with that situation. It's so bad for me mentally, physically, for inflammation, for everything. And I don't want that to be my life anymore. So the past week I've been on a journey of really knocking that out, like learning to cope with anxiety on my own without turning to anything, you know? And for some people it's prescription drugs, other people it's just drugs, for some people it's alcohol, whatever it may be. People have their vices, and I know for me at one point my vice was coloring, like just adult coloring books was just helping me so much, and that's how I was coping. And I need to find things like that again, whether it be working out or going on walks or whatever it is. And the past week, one of the things that Jordan and I have been doing is trying new restaurants. And that's just like one of those things, it gets me out of the house. If I start to feel anxious, I'm like, you know what, you're fine. What happens if you like fall over right now, pass out and die? Well, guess what? That's just what's gonna happen. That's what's in the cards for you. You can't change it. Moving on, you know, and just keeping myself busy is really my main focus right now. So that's really what I'm dealing with. If you are with somebody, you know, maybe your significant other or your child, whoever it is, you know, a cousin, a friend, deals with really bad anxiety, whether it's just like all mental or physical, whatever it is, I want to encourage you guys just to love them through it, like love them at their lowest, because I'm telling you, it's the most empowering thing that you can do. It's just to tell them, I love you right now, who you are. Yes, you have anxiety, but anxiety is not you.
Jaclyn continued 2021 with several makeup launches, including Bougie Rouge. Bougie Rouge included a variety of blushes from creams to powders and a few rosy lip shades. This was the same year John found out he would only be receiving a 3% cut of the merch he had designed. In part 1, I mentioned #HoldTight when referencing a 2015 post Jaclyn made about how she loved proving people wrong about their relationship. John also had a Hold Tight tattoo. John asked his followers not to buy from the website where the merch was and to order directly from him so he could give them a discount and receive the full profit. A significant launch for Jaclyn in 2021 was when she veered away from makeup to jewelry. In October of 2021, she launched Jaclyn Roxanne, a jewelry line. Jaclyn promised that sensitive skin would love this line. While it seemed to do well at first, like most of Jaclyn's launches, that wouldn't last. Many customers complained that the Jaclyn Roxanne jewelry rusted and turned their skin green after only a couple uses. Some even complained of allergic reactions. One customer wrote, quote, "Buyer beware, not nickel-free. My neck is so irritated from the Royal Link chain. Once again, corners were cut. I'm done with her and everything she does. It's so sad because she could really do well if she stopped being cheap and cutting corners. Only product that was good was her highlighters because she was ashamed of how many corners she cut on her lipstick launch. It's a mess and it's sad because I want to like her products, but I can't deal with the BS anymore. It's not cheap either. If I'm paying a premium, I expect a certain quality at the very least, not false advertising." End quote. Winter of 2021 would see Jaclyn and Jordan vacationing in Aspen, Colorado. Jaclyn was excited for the new year and didn't plan to slow down on Morphe makeup launches under the Jaclyn Cosmetics name. She closed out 2021 with a holiday collection, but not before Jordan proposed to her right before Christmas Day. The couple went into the new year celebrating their engagement. Jaclyn was now doing makeup and jewelry, and despite her past, it appeared as if she was having a lot of success. In May of 2022, she and her mother Robin did a Mother's Day collection called the Luxe Legacy Collection. Robin had been Jaclyn's manager from the beginning. Followers noticed that Jaclyn's YouTube videos stopped being about makeup and more about something she called Jaclyn's journey.
My skin is breaking out. I'm not losing weight. I'm tired. I'm hungry. And I'm doing too much too soon. That's what it comes down to. And I'm in a really bad mood. This is the first time literally in 1 month, because tomorrow is the 1 month day of when I woke up with that terrible hangover and I decided, like, I'm done. And this is the first time that I genuinely want to, like, go back to my old ways today. Like, I seriously want just to cancel the day and drink.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this.
That's why I took the scale out of the bathroom.
I can't do this food thing. I have to wait.
I told you.
It's just too much. And how did I eat all that Cuban food the other night and wake up a pound less? My God, my eyes are like so dry they burn. I ruined my makeup.
I don't even see it.
Oh, you're right, I didn't.
That's the video I would watch. How often I cry, I'm like, how do I do my makeup? It's the eye makeup.
I think I felt like I was already so discouraged, and then when you started reading off all those meals, that's when I was like wanted to kill myself, because I was like, okay, this is horrible.
I told you a week ago not to do this. She was like trying to do everything, and I'm like, stop. I'm like, just focus on not drinking and throw in some exercise. I was like, don't worry about your diet. We can do that when you feel like you've overcome everything else and you're in a routine. You can't be in a calorie deficit for 1 day and expect to like see a big difference on the scale. You have to do that for a month.
I was just angry that the scale went up. I'm fine with it staying the same. I'm just angry that it went up. No more scale.
And go off how your clothes fit. I'm telling you, that was the first thing that I did, and it made such a difference.
Scales in the garbage, moving forward. I have nothing to say. This sucks. That's real life.
Say less.
Nothing. What do they say? Where they say, like, nothing that's worth it comes easier, some stupid shit like that. What do people say to make people feel better about themselves? That's what I have to say.
I think that's what it is. Got it.
Super motivated today. I'm done.
In May of 2022, Jordan and Jaclyn took a photo in front of the California coastline to celebrate the fact that they had found their wedding venue. On Jordan's feet was a pair of Gucci shoes, the exact ones only a few years earlier he had filmed John in and rapped about. a video that John would upload to his Instagram and tag his friend in.
Hey guys, so today we are finally going to be doing the husband does my husband tag.
Husband tag. That's kind of dark to be foundation, I think. So I'm gonna keep going. See if I find something that looks. I told you that I'm gonna do good. Go like this with your cheeks. There you go. Oh, I nailed the other one. I'm serious. I love that color. Okay, so that.
Is this how I normally look when I do my makeup?
No, you look way hotter when you do your makeup.
Okay.
Look up.
Look up? Oh my god. Don't poke me in the eye. I'm trusting you, babe.
I promise. You mean?
Oh, are we blending again?
Gotta blend both. YouTube makeup king?
I think you actually did a really good job.
For my first time?
Well, I don't think there's gonna be a second time. So for today's video, we are going to be doing the What's in my mouth challenge.
Oh my god, why did you make that noise?
Close your eyes and open your mouth. Don't you dare throw up on me.
Oh, you're getting it now.
Oh god, no, this is spam, isn't it? This is spam. I've never actually had spam. Actually, I think I have Guam. I think his mom used to do spam all the time. I'm so nervous, I hate you.
This is how she sounds at the doctor's office. She's like, oh, you're gonna go make it. Oh, I just need to go get the kids out.
Only a few months after that post, John would tragically be found lifeless on a sidewalk in LA. He had relapsed and overdosed. One of the more recent posts before John's death would be captioned, quote, "If you've given up on me and wrote me off, peace out. I keep getting called lost. Let's see you have my childhood. Then, at 21, get randomly thrown into a life of endless money and attention that you never expected, and everyone wanting something from you or hating you for what you won't gladly give away. Then, it gets ripped away in a very public divorce and have no choice but to start over, knowing things that you can't mention that no one cares to even acknowledge when they eat away at you daily. And on top of that battle, a very real and serious addiction. Let's see if you'd have it all together. Anyway, good morning, from quote-unquote one lost soul to another. And please, I don't need sympathy or pity. I know my capabilities and my resilience isn't going anywhere. I adapt at my own pace. This is my journey, not yours. And if you're into competing with everyone and pretending you're above others, you're not, but do your thing if it makes you feel purpose. I'll stick with my tunnel vision and accepting I'm no better than the homeless guy who stands in front of me in line at my clinic. We all feel pain and we all deserve a voice. Likes and followers literally don't mean a thing. You're not less than someone with 30 million followers. Guarantee you're more interesting, more down to earth, and appreciate the beauty in what others are blind to see." End quote. John Hill passed away on August 10th of 2022. 2 days later on her Instagram, Jaclyn shared, quote, "I can't believe this day has actually come. I am so out of my mind right now. I don't know how I'm even going to type this, but I'm going to try. John, you were the most kind and compassionate person I've ever known. You looked people in the eyes and you truly listened and cared about what they had to say. You had so much talent you didn't even know what to do with it. You turned your pain into art and touched so many people with your honesty and your music. You were one of the funniest people I've ever met. You made everybody laugh uncontrollably, and I will forever miss that about you. I know we ended our marriage, but we never stopped loving and caring for each other. All I ever wanted was for you to find happiness and be free from your struggles. My heart is broken knowing that you are gone, but my spirit knows that you are finally free. And I know that you're up there playing the drums right now, making everyone laugh. I will carry our memories and inside jokes with me for the rest of my life. Rest peacefully. Love, Twix. End quote. Jaclyn's very next post was for a new release of her jewelry line, which she called, quote, incredibly necessary. A few posts later, it was of her driving around in her restored Bronco. Jaclyn wasn't letting anything get in her way. As she continued with makeup and jewelry launches and showing what's in her closet, what came next would perhaps be one of the biggest things to hurt her career and cause her followers to lose trust in her. Let's rewind to 2017 when a Canadian woman named Jaclyn Nicholson became the owner of a small business called All Things Co's Inc. All Things Co's started as an online store that originally sold hoodies, dresswear, and mugs. Jaclyn didn't have a team of people or a warehouse. She was a one-woman show and launched the business from her Toronto apartment. She had bulk items shipped to her, and then from her apartment, she shipped the goods out to her customers. But Jaclyn had bigger dreams than selling comfort items and clothes. She self-published books under Co's Publishing. That grew into a Co's blog, Co's Kitchen, and a Co's YouTube channel. Jaclyn herself had a couple YouTube channels she started uploading to in 2015. One under her name Jaclyn Nicholson, in which she shared lifestyle vlogs, and one called Jaclyn's Coffee Talk. Throughout the last decade, she shared her journey as a businesswoman, entering motherhood, and more. She did well for herself, with her main channel, Jaclyn Nicholson, amassing 1.3 million subscribers. As Co's grew, she was able to hire help and had even bigger plans for her business. She wanted to write many more books under Co's Publishing, launch Co's Planners, and had started a membership platform and online community that included 3 yoga live streams per week, as Jaclyn was also a certified yoga teacher. She also had a podcast under the All Things Co's umbrella. Jaclyn is a go-getter in every sense of the word. In a 2022 YouTube video, Jaclyn said she grew up a lot from the narcissism she got wrapped up in the YouTube influencer space around 2016 to 2018, and All Things Co's felt like her grown-up safe space where she got to do her business and create a comforting atmosphere for her customers. But all that would change in June of 2022. While Jaclyn was in her second trimester, Jaclyn created an Instagram account called Be Cozy and uploaded its first post. An image that looked eerily similar to Jaclyn's Co's line, had the exact same name and spelling. The only difference was its pronunciation. The caption read, "Coming soon." Instantly, people began tagging Jaclyn and her brand. To say Jaclyn was stressed would be an understatement. While pregnant with her first child, she was now forced to try and save her brand that she had spent the last 5 years building. She immediately reached out to Jaclyn and her team to try to get this figured out, and when no one got back to her, she even commented publicly on the Coming Soon post, trying to make Jaclyn and her team aware of her brand. Jaclyn, nor anyone from her team, ever replied to Jaclyn, but the very next Be Cozy Instagram post showed the brand name again, this time with the trademark logo next to it. The brand's tagline was "Be kind to you," but maybe Jaclyn should have remembered to be kind to others. Because only a few months later in October, while Jaclyn was busy with a 2-month-old baby, Jaclyn uploaded a post of herself sitting on her kitchen counter announcing her third business, Cozy. She captioned it, quote, "I can't believe today is the day. I'm launching my third brand. Like what? Little girl me is sobbing her eyes out right now. I wish I could run into my childhood bedroom and hug my younger self right now and have a dance party. Like we are doing big things. I'm so emotional and so grateful I was able to include my family in this launch and do this in my home. Thankful that my team trusted me and my vision. I cannot wait for you guys to experience my Be Cozy products. 1 p.m. Eastern today." End quote. Her next post was a video showing her Instagram bio, next to calling herself the proud CEO of Jaclyn Cosmetics and Jaclyn Roxanne. She added Be Cozy. Unfortunately, Kaylin had not trademarked her brand, and several of Jaclyn's followers told Kaylin this was her fault because she should have. On October 20th, Jaclyn uploaded a video titled "I Can't Believe It's Finally Here," introducing Cozy. The comments were immediately critical of what Jaclyn had done to Kaylin, and a year and a half later, the video has yet to receive even 500,000 views. One comment read, quote, "Jaclyn, you helped shape the YouTube makeup industry. We have stood by you through so much controversy, praying you would do better. All you have proven is that you are exactly what we have all defended you were not. Karma is a real thing and it's coming for you. This was the last straw." End quote. Another read, quote, "This isn't just stealing the name. The branding is almost identical to Kaylin's. This is flat out sad. There is no way Jaclyn didn't know. She just saw that Kaylin hadn't trademarked it and took it. At least address it. Poor Kaylin had to put an end to her 5-year business. Co's wasn't just a business with Kaylin, it was a community, and now it's ending. Great job, Jaclyn. You took away a community just so you can have more money. Kaylin reached out to you and you ignored her. Kaylin messed up by not trademarking, so yes, as this may be legal, it's not ethical." End quote. Jaclyn launched Cozy with socks, slippers, a robe, a blanket, and 2 different styles of pajamas. Customers soon complained about the fabric not holding up well. A couple weeks later, while on maternity leave, Kaylin uploaded a video titled "Saying Goodbye to Co's."
And a couple weeks back, I want to say it was like second week of October, I started getting a couple DMs and a couple tags in a post that said Co's, K-O-Z-E. And from what I was reading from the comments and from what people were telling me, that this was going to be the brand launch of a really big creator. And I was like, oh shit, I really hope not. And I mean, when I fell across this Instagram only had like 300 followers at the time and only one post from July. And remember that it was from July because that will become important in a moment. And nothing else. Like, there was no confirmation that this creator was involved. There was no confirmation this was a brand that was even being launched. And I didn't want to be hasty. So I basically just was like, okay, what can I do here? So I just posted a comment on that Instagram post, which only had a couple hundred likes, just saying like, hey, I don't know if this is a brand launch of somebody, but if it is, and like maybe you didn't know I exist, but now you might. I am a YouTuber. I have a brand called All Things Co's. I did not create the cozy aesthetic by any means. And there's definitely enough pie for everybody. Like, I don't know what this brand even is supposed to be at this point. Like, if it's gonna be a huge lifestyle brand umbrella like I've created, that's awesome. If it's just merchandise, that's also awesome. Like cozy comforting wear, that's also awesome. But do you mind maybe just going by any other name? And again, I mean, this was not launched at this point. There was a post from July. I just wanted to kind of like give a little heads up and just be like, please, please don't do that, because what that does, one, the biggest thing is that it would squash my SEO, which is search engine optimization. If you go and you Google Co's, K-O-Z-E, I'm the first thing that pops up, or my business is the first thing that pops up. And my YouTube is also the second thing that pops up. It's like a bunch of videos. If this creator was the creator that was gonna launch this brand, I knew it was going to do really well. I knew they were definitely going to have a lot more resources and as well as a lot more following, so that now when you look up Co's, not only would I not show up in that search engine optimization towards the top, still I probably would, but the other thing that was a bigger worry for me is that the brand recognition itself, when you saw the word Co's, would no longer be Kaylin. It would not like Co's Kaylin, it would become Co's this creator, or Co's this brand, and you would forget kind of about this brand. Not to mention, if someone's walking around with a sweater like this, or I'm walking around with a sweater like this, someone might think I'm repping that brand, you know, if they don't know about my brand. Those are the two main reasons, and then it followed into more reasons. And to be honest, this creator tends to have videos made about them. That was the other thing I was worried about, is that now when you would look up Co's, the other thing that was going to start happening is that tea videos would show up, or what is called like tea videos or drama videos. And I've never been in any tea or in any drama, and I don't want to be. I also don't want the brand affiliated with like I don't want people to look up Co's and then be like, ooh, drama, you know what I mean? And so that was another issue. And I really want to be as kind as possible, but I also want to be honest. And I didn't get any response back from said creator. And then I want to say a week or two later, it was confirmed that this creator was launching this business. I knew at that point they had seen my comment. If I'm being very, very frank and honest, if you were to start any business, if you were to start any company, what would be the first thing you would do when you came up with the name? Would you not look it up on social media and look it up on Google? Because if you did both of those things, you would definitely see my codes. The other main issue was, well, you didn't trademark it. I am aware that was shit on my part. What really kind of put a bad taste in my mouth was, instead of this creator responding, their team, or they did, just posted a reel with the word cozy, or they call it cozy, with a TM beside it. The reason why that put a bad taste in my mouth is because, one, the energy was weird. It was weird because it just kind of gave a like, yeah, I saw your comment, here's my response, trademarked. I was working with lawyers who looked it up and they hadn't trademarked it. In fact, the first post for this brand was in July. So usually when you file a trademark, it takes a week or two to show up in the database. It had been months. There was no trademark filed under this person or their LLC, which is kind of like their incorporation. Like it's called an incorporation in Canada. It's an LLC in the US. And then a lot of the comments were kind of like, yeah, shove it in her face kind of thing. And that energy was like, not my cup of tea. It looked one way when reality was a different way because the trademark didn't exist.
Kaylyn's lawyers told her because Jaclyn had not trademarked cozy and because Kaylyn had been selling goods under the brand name for 5 years, she could send Jaclyn a cease and desist and then take her to court to pursue making the cozy brand name officially hers. But the cost would be $95,000 minimum, which is well over $100,000 in Canadian currency. Kaylyn said that as a new mom, she didn't want a legal battle, nor did she want the drama it would bring from Jaclyn's followers and possibly Jaclyn.
I'm gonna move on with my life. I'm gonna mind my own business. I'm gonna wipe my hands clean of this. I'm gonna go rebrand, which also another thing that my lawyer was telling me is I technically also had grounds to sue and ask for money, for the money it's gonna cost me to rebrand, for the money it is costing me to rebrand. I don't want to, because again, I don't want to take any legal course of action against this person. I don't want the drama from it, and I don't want the stress on either end, the stress on me or the stress on this person. Like, I don't want any ill will towards this person, even if they don't give a shit about me or my company. It's just not the way I move through life.
And Jaclyn didn't give a shit about Kaylyn because she never addressed Kaylyn's concerns or the closure of her brand. And when Jaclyn would talk about Kaylyn in a future YouTube video, she refused to address her by name. But more on that later. Sadly, Kaylyn closed down her business, deleted the cozy website and social accounts, and decided to move on. In the meantime, Jaclyn and John's former friend had a wedding to plan. A few weeks after launching cozy, Jaclyn went to Miami to shop for a wedding dress, and then held her bachelorette party with her best friend Linda right by her side. Linda, the co-owner of Morphe, would be Jaclyn's maid of honor and her only bridesmaid. By now, Morphe wasn't doing as well as in 2019 when they received their $2 billion valuation. Prior to the pandemic, Morphe was well loved among the beauty scene, and influencers like Jeffree Star and James Charles would launch their makeup or makeup collabs only in Morphe stores. This turned into a major event, and on launch day for a new influencer makeup product, Morphe would hire a DJ and security guards prior to opening, where hundreds to sometimes thousands of people would stand in line for hours to get their hands on their favorite influencer's newest release. But even pre-pandemic, things started going downhill with all the influencer drama tarnishing the brand. Insider reported when they visited a New Jersey Morphe store in February of 2020 for Jeffree Star's Bloodlust makeup launch, Morphe had once again prepared for a huge launch with a DJ and security, but less than 30 people were standing in line an hour before opening. Try as they may, post-pandemic Morphe was even worse. The company had shifted away from beauty gurus like Jeffree and James and geared their marketing more towards smaller influencers and Gen Z. There was just one problem. Gen Z wasn't interested. Morphe customers and employees began to notice the shelves weren't as regularly stocked, and a financial report stated that Morphe sales had dropped from $500 million in 2020 to $295 million in 2021. Only a few weeks after Jaclyn's bachelorette party, several Morphe employees showed up to work only to find all the shelves empty. They were then notified they no longer had a job. Morphe had closed all their stores. In January of 2023, Forma, Morphe's parent company, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Jaclyn appeared unbothered. In March, she told her followers she was releasing a wedding collection from her Jaclyn Roxanne jewelry line. Unlike her makeup and jewelry line, Jaclyn had only posted once about Cozy on her personal Instagram since it first launched. That might have been because nearly every comment on her Be Cozy Instagram page called her a thief, told her to apologize to Kaylin, or at least address the situation, or yelled justice for Kaylin at her. It mostly seemed as if Jaclyn didn't care too much for Cozy, as the majority of brand photos were taken against a plain white backdrop, and out of 57 posts on the brand's Instagram, Jaclyn herself only appeared in 11. Meanwhile, Jaclyn and Jordan shared a video of them looking for a wedding venue.
She's got her ice, but yeah, we're on the way to Cali, go do some wedding things. So our toxic trait is being the last on the plane.
Okay, so not to sound like a spoiled bitch, but anytime I travel, in like the last 8 years, I've always had assistants or like a team, like literally like personal assistants, like help me with everything. But now that I've got Jordan, he's much more, he's much more humble than me, and he likes to do everything, so no assistance.
So we're on the way to see if we can change rooms because Jaclyn has a fear of the first floor.
I don't want someone just to like walk into my room.
You know what? It's rational.
It's
rational.
Have we ever checked into a hotel ever where I'm just like, it's perfect?
It's never happened.
I always have to change. I always have to change a room.
It's okay. All right, what did we just order? Mexican. Oh, they don't have this shit in Florida. Basic? How are we close to Mexico and we're eating basic Mexican food? What? 5 stars. What are you giving it? 2 out of... Oh, man. We just ordered some breakfast. Hopefully it's pretty good. The dinner last night was tragic. We ordered... There's like 2 salads and a pizza over there, and all night Jaclyn was on the verge of throwing up. So the food here is not ideal, but...
Hopefully breakfast slaps.
Hopefully breakfast slaps so we can set ourselves up for success. We're about to go do a wine tour right now. As you can see, Jaclyn is pinked out. First drink. She's doing it, we're doing it. Cheers, baby.
Cheers, my love. Tastes like bad decisions.
Tastes like wine. All right, quick update. There's no phones allowed here. So my shoe broke. We super glued it.
I'm barefoot.
Jaclyn's barefoot because she's got blisters and she forgot tissues, so she cried all her makeup off, so we had to go back to the hotel, get super glue, redo the makeup. What else happened? Spill water all over my Apple Watch.
It's been a shit show.
It's been a shit show. The iron didn't iron. It actually burned my suit and did not work on her dress. So
I love you. We can't wait to marry you.
I know.
Not to
We're gonna go look at venues,
but it's always about us. Sorry, Mike and DK.
On April 29th of 2023, Jaclyn Hill became Jaclyn Torrey, in name only, not in brand. They were married in California with their close friends and family in attendance. Followers noticed Jaclyn posted wedding photos less than 24 hours after the wedding and that the couple didn't take a honeymoon. 1 year after Jaclyn uploaded their wedding video to her YouTube channel, it still has yet to hit 500,000 views at the time of this recording. 1 month after the wedding, on a podcast with his friends, Jordan had a lot to say about Lipstickgate, and also strangely defended R. Kelly and Bill Cosby in doing so.
Switching gears for just a second. Still tying in Jaclyn, because with everything she kind of went through over the past years, we saw all the bullshit that she went through. How do we feel about cancel culture?
Oh, bro. Yo, as somebody who watched their loved one get destroyed from that, because to you, it's just a comment on a forum or an Instagram post or a YouTube video, but like, you put enough of those together and that shit turns from a sentence to a bullet. And you can kill somebody with that shit, bro. Here's the thing. if your identity is tied to whatever is getting canceled, because everybody's got fame and they got their personal life, right? If your identity is tied to that, it will ruin you. It will ruin you. I'm not saying that some people don't deserve to be like, hey, I don't fuck with him no more. I don't fuck with her no more. Like, I get that, man. But like, it's so dangerous to the person on the other side of that.
Yeah.
And I've got firsthand experience of how that shit can rock your world. And it's like, and the truth is, bro, like, what my girl went through with her lipsticks was not her fault. Like, I'm not gonna go into details just for like legal reasons, and I don't want to dabble in that, but like that was literally not my girl's fault, and the internet ruined her for a while. Like she'll tell you straight up, out of everything she's been through, that was like one of the worst experiences of her life. And it's like, because people made assumptions on shit they don't know. You don't work with labs. You're not signing contracts. You're not in negotiation rooms. You're not in a war room. It's like, you don't know what's going on. You don't know this shit. It's like Alec Baldwin when the girl got shot on set. Everybody, he's a murderer. It's like, I don't comment on that shit because I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. And just because I watched what has happened to my girl time over time again with people coming after her with these scandals, it's like, you don't know. You're not there. There is so much more that goes on behind the scenes, so many more people involved, so many more hands that are in this, so many more angles and obstacles and all this stuff. And it's like, you read a couple things and you make a judgment and then you call somebody a piece of shit. It's like, yo, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. I will never leave a comment on somebody's shit when they're going through something, popping shit about them. Because the truth is, you never know. It's like Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. Man, we've been through court. It's been years. We've heard we still don't know what happened. We got people that shit on both of them. Yeah. And it's like, you don't know what happened. Why do you have an opinion?
Okay, well, what about a situation like R. Kelly or Bill Cosby? How do you feel about that?
Well,
because where do we draw the line there?
That's a good question.
Bro, I feel like if there's like undeniable truth to it.
But how is it undeniable?
Well,
because at the end of the day, we still don't know, even if it's like
100%. I watched the documentaries. Listen, they are absolutely painted in a certain way. I also watched a bunch of YouTube videos on my girl that made my girl look like the worst person on earth, and that she did all this shit that she didn't do. So it's like,
and they make it believable.
Yeah,
you know the facts.
Bro, you can spin anything.
Exactly,
you can literally spin anything, and it's just like, I just take everything with a grain of salt. Now, if somebody's on video and they shoot somebody, and that's what I'm saying, you got proof.
It's got to be
great.
that type of proof. Yep.
Straight up, cancel culture. I'm not with it. If you see something that's literally undeniable, factual, hard proof that you think is messed up, fine.
When the Forma bankruptcy documents were released, the public began to pour over them. In these documents, they found that Jaclyn, who claimed Jaclyn Cosmetics was a family-owned business that she was CEO of, found that Jaclyn Hill had no ownership whatsoever of Jaclyn Cosmetics. It was owned by Forma, and the name Jaclyn Cosmetics was trademarked by Jaclyn herself and then licensed to Forma, who owned and operated Jaclyn Cosmetics. Jaclyn Hill did own Jaclyn Hill LLC, but she was not the CEO, president, or even an officer of Jaclyn Cosmetics. When Forma filed for bankruptcy, Jaclyn Hill was an unsecured creditor. She was owed over $900,000 by Morphe and over $1.1 million in royalties from Forma. Thanks to the bankruptcy, Jaclyn was now out $2 million. This created a whirlwind in the beauty community. Longtime fans and former followers wanted to know what was going on, especially since Jaclyn herself was refusing to address it. She ignored comments asking why she lied about being the owner for all those years, and if Jaclyn Cosmetics was closing now that Forma filed bankruptcy. Instead, Jaclyn continued posting and not addressing the problem. She shared about her weight loss journey, non-alcoholic recipes she was making, restaurants she was eating at, and things she was buying. By now, every post had questions about how she could steal Kaylyn's brand, as well as questions about if Jaclyn Cosmetics was closing. Jaclyn didn't answer directly, But she did post a video titled Let's Chat that alluded to the fact that change was coming and that she didn't owe her followers an explanation.
Hi guys. I would like to say I'm back, but like I haven't really been gone that long. And I feel like every video I've ever made in the history of my channel, I start off with like, I'm back. I don't know why I always have to like reintroduce myself. Honestly, you guys, while I'm sitting here doing this, like if we're just gonna have an open, transparent conversation, I'm literally like, I could just sell everything. Like I could just sell Jaclyn Roxanne, sell Cozy, cosmetics, just quit it all and just do this. Like as far as like happiness and fulfillment inside my heart, like I could just be an influencer and like be good, you know, like, just so many challenges. That's like the hardest thing that I learned from the lipsticks is having like the whole internet talk about me and just question who I am as a person. And I just felt like there was no way out of it. And it's like, even still, I deal with it on a weekly, on a monthly basis. People thinking that I'm shady, that I have terrible business practice, that I'm stealing things from people or I'm not being transparent. And it's like, it's so exhausting when it comes to business because it's like, guys, it's business. Like I do not owe you explanations. You do not know what's going on behind the scenes. You do not know the conversations that are being had. You literally don't know. You don't know. I don't care what documents you've seen. You don't know what's in process. You don't know what's happened. You don't know who's lying out there. You don't know. Unless you literally work for me, you don't know. And I'm so sick of constantly having to defend my character. So I've decided, like, I made a pact with myself and my therapist and God a few months ago where I was like, I'm done. I'm not explaining myself anymore. If you think I'm a good person, thank you. Come back and watch my videos. Let's chat. I'll see you in my DMs. If you think I'm a liar, if you think I'm shady, if you think whatever, then literally unfollow me because I'm not gonna explain myself to you. That's where I'm at. I feel like I just needed to get that off my chest because I feel like I'm entering a new era. I'm enjoying this video so much. I'm enjoying this process so much that I'm trying to have an honest, open conversation. And I know that people are gonna get pissed. People want me to address every little thing so that they can go watch their favorite gossip channels, make videos about it so they can sit there and be like, oh my God, I knew she was a terrible person. And it's like, do you know how emotionally exhausting that is? Do you know how toxic that is? Anyways, moving on.
It may come as no surprise that her refusing to address the controversy and instead acting defensive and annoyed only made her followers and ex-fans more critical of her. Now that the Forma's court documents clearly showed all the years of Jaclyn's lies, people wondered what other documents they could find, so they decided to dig. It came to light that in 2013, a man named Matthew Chase Gilbert had the misfortune to work with Jaclyn. The pair were friends, and he created a logo, artwork, and branding for Jaclyn's business under the agreement that if she became successful, she would pay him and employ him in her company. Jaclyn agreed, and for years she used his artwork and branding and even had him modify it several times. The logo and branding were used for collaborations she did with Morphe and several other brands. Instead of following through on their agreement once the money started piling up, she convinced him to sign a work-for-hire document, allegedly under the guise that it just claimed Matthew didn't own any part of her company. But in reality, the document gave Jaclyn all rights to Matthew's artwork, logo, and branding. In return, he would be paid $10. After the documents were signed, she cut him out of both her professional and personal life. Matthew Gilbert ended up suing Jaclyn for fraud, intellectual property rights, and breach of agreement. The case was dismissed in 2016. Other documents showed that in 2018, Jaclyn quietly created a charity organization called Lions and Lipsticks. No one knows why for sure, but it led down another rabbit hole that showed the charity was closed after Jaclyn Hill received 2 PPP loans from the government in 2020. But there was something that caught people's attention on Jaclyn's PPP loan filing. She listed her race as American Indian or Alaska Native, something Jaclyn Hill nor anyone in her family has ever claimed to be. Jaclyn applied for 2 PPP loans totaling over $391,000. Both loans were forgiven by the U.S. government, meaning she didn't have to pay anything back. As all this information came to light, others who had been burned by Jaclyn began to speak out. Along with Marlene Estelle, who was irate at what Jaclyn did to Kaylin and her former company Makeup Geek, a woman named Jen Gerard posted to a Reddit forum that Jaclyn tried to ruin her. Jen Gerard is the owner of Gerard Cosmetics and considered Jaclyn a friend. Back in 2014, she collabed with Jaclyn on a collection called Jaclyn's Gems, which included 2 lipsticks and 2 glosses. The lipsticks were named 1995 and Buttercup, and the glosses were Rose Hill and Buttercream. Industry standard is usually 10 to 15% commission without royalties, but according to Jen, Jaclyn received a 30% commission plus royalties for every unit sold. This included the product sold as individuals. Jaclyn did not do any work on the product formula, nor did she design the packaging or branding. She simply chose the 4 colors. This collab netted Jaclyn more than $500,000 from Gerard Cosmetics. But in 2015, around the time Jaclyn was promoting Champagne Pop, Jen received an email saying Jaclyn wanted to end the business relationship and demanded a fee of $250,000 so that things didn't get, quote, dirty. When Jen told Jaclyn no, as that wasn't part of their contract, Jaclyn made a video on her Snapchat bad-mouthing Jen Gerard, saying it was costing her a lot to work with Gerard Cosmetics and that she had to put her morals above everything else. Therefore, she would no longer be working with Gerard Cosmetics. Articles and posts were then made slandering the brand and its owner, and many influencers stopped working with the company after Jaclyn's Snapchat. The company lost a lot of customers as well. Then there was a woman named Gabby who also decided to speak out in 2023. She is the owner of Gabby Ross Makeup. In 2017, she created a makeup brush called the Face Master, which is a name she trademarked. But only 1 year later, Jaclyn posted about her brush collab with Morphe, which she called the Face Master Collection. Despite a trademark strike forcing Morphe to change the name, their position as a then makeup superpower meant that for years, a quick Google of the keyword Face Master brought up their collaboration before Gabby's. At the time of this recording, Jaclyn still has the trademarked word Face Master listed in the description box under her video. As all these dirty, behind-closed-door dealings came to light through podcasts and Reddit forums, and while social media was ablaze with talk of Jaclyn's misdeeds, Jaclyn pretended to be unaware. But cracks in the facade began to show when in August of 2023, she posted a video titled, "I'm Closing My Brands." In the video, she blamed the yes men she had in her life after her lipstick launch failure, and that she doesn't want to be a brand owner and hasn't been happy for at least 2 years. Throughout the video, she talks about her decision to close down her jewelry line, Jaclyn Roxanne, and Cozy. Only 10 months after Kaylin closed her entire business of 5 years because of Jaclyn taking the name, Jaclyn was bored of it. In her video, she said, quote, "I get excited over cosmetics. I'm not excited over these things, and I kinda had this aha moment recently where I don't want to be known as the cozy girl. I don't want to be known as the blanket girl. I don't want to be known as the jewelry girl. Like, that's not supposed to be my legacy. My legacy was supposed to be cosmetics." End quote. Midway through the video, Jaclyn declared that she did want to talk about choosing to name her brand Cozy.
I do want to take a moment to address the naming of my brand Cozy because there's been a lot of talk about it, and although I have not addressed it publicly, does not mean that I am not handling it privately. That's really something that I wish the internet would be more aware of, is that you only see moments and minutes throughout my entire week in my life, but behind the scenes is where everything is actually happening. So although I may not address something, does not mean that it's not keeping me up at night and something that I am constantly dealing with and obsessing over and trying to make right. I just want you guys to keep that in mind. What you see here on camera is just a tiny glimpse into what my life actually looks like. So as a lot of you guys may know, there is a Canadian creator and she had an online digital platform called All Things Coze. And Coze was spelled the same way as my brand, Koze. So at the time, I hired a trademark attorney to make sure that whatever name my team and I came up with for my brand was gonna be able to be used legally. We came up with over 100 different names. Everything was taken. We created names from scratch, taken. Everything was trademarked until we came up with the name Cozy, spelled Koze. My attorney told me, trademark is open. It's all yours. Great. Where I personally messed up as an owner, as a founder, as a CEO, was not doing my own due diligence on the social media side of things. I was not made aware that there was a smaller Canadian creator with an online platform that had that exact same spelling within the brand name. until we had placed an order for everything, for the blankets, for the robes, for the pajamas, for the socks, for the slippers. And then that's when I was made aware of the spelling being the same. The second that I was made aware of the situation, my team and I reached out to her directly to try to make this right, and we never heard back from her. And I completely understand why, because I would be pissed off if I was her as well. All right, the situation sucks. I'm just giving you my perspective of what happened behind the scenes of the camera.
Kaylin has denied ever receiving an email from Jaclyn or anyone on Jaclyn's team. Jaclyn went on to address Jaclyn Cosmetics and continued to perpetuate the lie that she was CEO and owner and could decide the company's fate.
Honestly, you guys, I don't know the future of my brand. I really don't. I mean, because of everything that I've said to you this entire video, I really don't know. I mean, I really stepped away and I really just did the bare minimum, and I was given such an incredible opportunity to be in Ulta stores, and I've done the bare minimum supporting my brand in Ulta, which is crazy because that's literally my dream. I could just cry over this. Like, I remember working at the Mac store, all right? And this is when I was physically on food stamps. And during my lunch break, at Mac, I would walk upstairs in the Chicago Woodfield Mall and I would go into the Ulta store and I'll just walk around and stare. And I remember feeling like always slightly embarrassed because like the sales girls would be like, "Can I help you?" And I'd be like, "Oh no, it's okay," because I did not have $1 to spend on makeup. But I would just walk around and swatch stuff and just like dream about like being able to own these things. And I've talked about this. I talked about this like 8 years ago on my YouTube channel. And just to then fast forward and have my own Jaclyn Cosmetics in Ulta stores, like talk about whoo. And I haven't even given that relationship the love that it deserves because I just felt like such a failure. Even though Ulta believed in me, I didn't believe in myself. How crazy is that? So at this point, I don't know what's gonna happen with Jaclyn Cosmetics because of the decisions that I've made, because of the fact that I did the bare minimum. It's just wild to think that that is what started my YouTube career, turning on some rinky-dink camera, using a lamp as my lighting, recreating a Kim Kardashian cosmopolitan winged eyeliner look, like with nothing to get out of it. I didn't know you could make money on YouTube. I didn't know you could make a career out of it. I just thought it was a community that you could possibly build where you learn makeup. Like that's all I thought it was back in 2011. And so yeah, I definitely feel ashamed and like I blew it. And that might be the case, but I'm gonna own up to it and own my shit. And at this point, it's like, let's just see what the future holds, you know? But I'm just sick of trying to chase validation. I just wanna be happy. I want mental stability. I'm so sick of feeling lost or doing what I feel like I'm supposed to do or what people are telling me to do. Like, I'm just ready to take my life into my own hands. And I've been working really hard on that recently. I said what I said, we're done. And just moving forward with what I wanna do and what's gonna make me happy no matter what that looks like. All I know is we do have one last launch in our pipeline that's actually coming out this month, and it's the most innovative product that I've ever created. You will see that I really put time and effort into this product with my team. There's nothing like it. There's no formula that I have ever seen on the market like this. It is so beautiful and so unique. And I'm so excited for it to launch. And I just wanna be able to give my brand the love that it deserves, even if it ends up shutting down too. Like on the way out, I've got to just like stay true to myself and like that little Jaclyn, if you will. I've got to honor that. I've got to honor my true original love and passion and dream. And that's where I'm at.
While Jaclyn pretended to be vague about what she was going to do with Jaclyn Cosmetics, after saying makeup was her passion, a lot was happening behind the scenes. Court documents showed that Forma had offered Jaclyn the opportunity to buy back Jaclyn Cosmetics in the bankruptcy proceedings so the brand could stay alive. But Jaclyn, whether because of money or something else, declined to do so. And thus, Jaclyn Cosmetics would be no more. Soon after, Ulta removed it from their stores, and the company's makeup began piling up in discount stores like TJ Maxx and Marshall's. At the time of this recording, Jaclyn Hill has never addressed the fact that Forma owned Jaclyn Cosmetics, and that it wasn't a small family brand as she stated many times throughout the years. In December of 2023, Jaclyn finally addressed that Jaclyn Cosmetics was closing, but she announced that it was her decision. In a statement not posted on any of her social accounts, but only to the Instagram for Jaclyn Cosmetics, she wrote, quote, "2023 has come to an end, and it's truly been a transformational year for me. The joy you're seeing in me is real. However, the road to get here has come with a lot of tough realities and decisions I have had to make as well. With that being said, I have decided to close the doors on Jaclyn Cosmetics for the foreseeable future. There has been plenty of talk, but what I will say is the brand has been such an important chapter in my book and one I will always cherish but am ready to close." End quote. Less than 2 years after getting together, Jordan had stopped making music and stopped working as a videographer. He started posting cooking videos to his YouTube channel and gained over 600,000 subscribers. Jaclyn made regular appearances in his videos. In 2024, Jordan became a contestant on Next Level Chef. After being eliminated, Jordan and Jaclyn made the decision to move to California. It's unclear what Jordan's career plans are. He was recently seen with his bare backside against the stove in one of his cooking videos.
Let's make a surf and turf sandwich. This thing's bigger than my head. We're starting with our shrimp. Marinate them in olive oil, lemon juice, salt, pepper, smoked paprika, and about a teaspoon of cornstarch. Next, we got fried shallots, and it's literally as easy as 1, 2, and 3. Speaking of 3, we've got our 3-ingredient aioli. Saute your Calabrian chili, garlic, a little salt. Take your mayo into a bowl, garlic and chilies in, get all that oil. Now mix and taste as you go. That's how good it is. Me so hungry. Get your mind out of the gutter. Cut up your scallion. Butter, lemon juice, zest, fresh scallion. Now we taste. Oh.
It's also unclear what Jaclyn's plans are for her career. In the video where she announced she was closing her brands, she claimed that her social media looked like one big brand deal, and she was sick of pushing products in people's faces. However, that is mostly what she does today. Jaclyn posts an Amazon link almost daily, if not multiple a day, to her Instagram stories. In June of 2024, Jaclyn posted to her stories that she had spent over 2 hours putting products in her Amazon storefront for her followers. She currently has over 900 Amazon products listed in her Amazon storefront, one of those being toilet paper. Jaclyn still claims to be friends with Linda. During the Morphe days, Linda allegedly owned a company titled SMDMNM, an acronym most commonly known for Scared Money Don't Make No Money. In June of 2024, Jaclyn's mother, Robin, was seen promoting a crypto multi-level marketing company on her Instagram stories, where she invited her followers to join her and their community for a Thursday night meeting. In that same month, Jaclyn posted a patronizing video to her stories in which she told followers that if they wanted to become multimillionaires, nothing was holding them back but them. Before I play this clip, please be aware of the wind interference in the video.
You can change your life. If you're in an unhappy relationship, you can leave. I've done it. Okay? I did it with millions of eyes on me. You can leave. If you feel miserable and you need and want to lose weight, you can do it. I've done it. If you want to shut down your businesses and let go of 40 people, you can do it. I've done it. If you want to move across the country, you can do it. I've done it. If you want to put yourself out there when no one else believes in you and you're dead broke on food stamps and you don't even know what's next for yourself, you can do it. I've done it. You can do it. Okay, I'm just saying, we all have one life to live. One life. And it's okay to be selfish every once in a while and take care of you. It's okay to chase your dreams, whatever that may be. If you want to be super successful, you want to be a multimillionaire, you know you can do that, right? Like, they didn't just stop printing money today. Other people are multimillionaires, so why can't you be? Like, it's available, it's there for you, you know? So whatever it is, I just think that a lot of us women, especially young women, I'm speaking to like my former self now, I think that we do not acknowledge how much we're actually capable of and how much control we actually have over our own lives and our own destiny. So leave that shitty relationship, leave that whack-ass man who isn't taking care of you, go make something for yourself. Go back to school, close down your businesses, move across the country, get weird, get wild. Do something for you, be selfish for a change. Take control is all I'm saying. Find your happiness. I love you. I'm out.
While other beauty gurus continue to receive millions of views on their videos because they haven't broken their audience's trust, and some creators even built makeup brands that became a global powerhouse and are still consistently putting out great products, it's another story entirely for Jaclyn. Jaclyn Hill had YouTube fame and went from having thousands of people line up to meet her, her products sold in the biggest beauty retailers across the country, and more opportunity and money than most can fathom in a lifetime, to losing it all, betraying those who helped her along the way, and becoming a mean girl who hopes to earn a commission from your toilet paper sales. This has been the cautionary tale of Jaclyn Hill.